One of the key components which resonates with the center is what Dr. Karim refers to as the higher harmonic of gold. This is a literal golden energy emanation, the same as is described in spiritual traditions all around the world. This is the golden radiance found around the heads or the entire bodies of the saints. This golden energy quality resonates more strongly in a person's energy field when they connect to the center, to the divine. So a saint is someone who has a very strong golden energy in their field at all times, because unlike most of us, they never fall out of their resonance with the divine plane into lower states of consciousness. This golden energy is the marker of connecting to the center, to the divine plane. This golden energy appears in a person's energy field during intense inner experiences of prayer and blessing, when we literally connect to the divine. Ancient traditions knew that this golden energy from the center can also be manifested through temple science applications of particular sacred geometry shapes, of sounds, colors, number sequences, etc., which Dr. Karim has rediscovered in his over 50 years of intensive research. This BG3 energy of the center is the universal donor, the same healing energy as we connect to in the highest levels of prayer and blessing. Whereas one can get too much of any of the 12 bands of polarized energies discovered by the French, because they push energy strongly one direction or another to activate or sedate. The BG3 energy connects everything directly to center, to its own perfect equilibrium point. You cannot overdose on the BG3 energy of the center, but you can overdose on too much of any polarized energy from the 12 bands, which would create imbalance through too much yin or too much yang, too much sedation or too much activation. Dr. Karim has been able to make biogeometry a truly multi-dimensional energy science, going far beyond modern materialistic science, which can only detect energy on the physical and electromagnetic levels. Dr. Karim was able to discover the geometric forms which resonate with the many different planes of nature, using the 7 planes model found in modern Western esotericism. He found that the zero-dimensional point, the immaterial center, is what always connects to the divine plane, whereas the circle, the boundary of creation, is the form which resonates with the physical plane. Dr. Karim revealed a deep secret within sacred geometry, that specific geometric forms act as antennas to connect to energy from specific higher planes of creation. Dr. Karim was then able to identify the geometric forms which resonate with all 7 planes of nature. These geometric patterns are taught in the advanced biogeometry trainings, making it possible to detect or direct specific vibrations to or from any plane. In the human body, these different planes appear microcosmically as our physical and subtle bodies. So for example, the geometric form which connects us to the astral plane, which is our first subtle body of consciousness, is the form of the pyramid or hemisphere, which we saw in our last episode as a form which radiates the mysterious negative green carrier wave used in ancient Egypt. The pyramid and hemisphere are also then the forms which we can use to detect and direct energy in our own emotional body. Because our emotional body is in fact our microcosmic piece of the astral plane inside ourselves. Dr. Karim then discovered the geometric shapes which act as tuning antennas for the subplanes of every plane. These are modifications of the core geometric shape of the overall plane itself. Here we see the geometric forms which can connect us to the 12 subplanes of the astral plane, which again appears within the human being as our emotional subtle body. This is the true energy science behind what we think of today as sacred geometry. Because this energy science of biogeometry is so profound and far-reaching, it can be challenging to find short descriptions to try to summarize it for the public. Biogeometry is sometimes referred to as the science of creating sacred power spots, because what sacred power spots really are is the places where this divine universal harmonizing power concentrates into a particular area. Every power spot radiates strong Bg3. In fact, it is the defining characteristic which makes an area a true power spot. Biogeometry methods for detecting the energy quality of the center can detect any power spot anywhere on the Earth. This includes major power spots such as Giza Plateau, or even tiny power spots which exist in every home or office, which can be amplified through biogeometry techniques to balance energy in a location. Because the human physical body is a fractal, a microcosm, of the Earth itself, we also have power spots in our body, just as the Earth does. We call these power spots in our body chakras, acupuncture points, etc. These power spots, whether on the Earth or in the human body, or even out in space with planets, stars, etc., can be detected at a distance through photographs as easily as in person. Biogeometry can also create through design methods the same energy as found in natural power spots on Earth, at any location, including in homes and offices. It is truly the science of creating sacred power spots. Another way that biogeometry is sometimes described is as nature's own design language of shape, sound, color, motion, number, angle, and proportion. It reveals and makes practical the design methods which nature itself uses to create all the energetic functions in the world. Biogeometry is also known as the physics of quality, a rebirth of ancient knowledge into a new energy science, which complements and expands our current physics of quantity into a truly holistic and complete energy science. The first 20 years of Dr. Karim's work in developing biogeometry were done quietly in his own home, while he was known to the public only for his architectural design work. Then in the early 1990s, a director of the Egyptian National Research Center invited Dr. Karim to have his work in biogeometry evaluated there. At first, the assembled scientists and medical doctors at the research center were quite hostile to Dr. Karim and to the entire idea that geometric forms could emanate subtle energies which affect living beings. They presented Dr. Karim with a challenge. With two fast-replicating yeast cultures placed in Petri dishes, he was to kill one using only a geometric form and leave the other untouched. Dr. Karim replied that biogeometry is not for killing, establishing at the outset his firm ethical boundaries in using this work only for good and never for harm. Dr. Karim then stated that he would paralyze the life functions in one yeast culture with a simple geometric form, stopping its normal replication but not killing it, while leaving the other culture replicating normally. This was easy for Dr. Karim, based on his knowledge of the specialized powers of the different vibrational bands, especially the negative green band. The results of this first project are described in the scientific report titled Observations on the Interaction of Biogeometrical Shapes and the Growth of Microorganisms. This is from the National Research Center of Egypt. It was authored by Professor Dr. Badr el-Din, the head of the Department of Microbial Chemistry. After stating the success of the experiment, the author went on to say, further experimentation on this type of interaction between the biogeometrical shapes and a variety of microorganisms is a top priority. The essence of this type of interaction seems to surpass explanation through our traditional and classical knowledge in basic science. This highly successful result led to the formation of a working group at the Egyptian National Research Center led by Dr. Karim to study the effects of geometric forms on life functions. Again, this is truly biogeometry. After proving that geometric forms emit subtle energies which affect living beings, Dr. Karim was invited to participate in the Egyptian National Hepatitis C Research Project, being held at the Pharmaceutical School of Al-Azhar University in Cairo, which is one of the oldest universities in the world. Hepatitis C has been a major issue in Egypt and throughout North Africa, leading to this comparative study of all available remedies in both allopathic and alternative medicine. Everything from Chinese medicine herbs to pharmaceuticals such as interferon were included in the project. Dr. Karim is not a medical doctor, and he always emphasizes that he simply does the work and then leaves it up to the medical authorities to report on the results. He makes no medical claims whatsoever for biogeometry. He lets the medical authorities describe its empirical effects.